With that, we say hi to Jackie the Joke Man.
There he is.
Don't mind Jimmy. He's losing his mind over there, Jackie.
He can't plug his computer in for some...
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a fire hazard.
Uh-oh. What are you doing? Is this the big plug, Jackie? This Saturday, October 30th, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club at the Lane Theater, Staten Island, New York. Our pal, our friend, Jackie the Joke Man.
If this works, I'll be amazed.
You still trying to plug it in?
I laughed out loud. You guys, that song.
Oh,
I thought that was somebody fooling around, right?
No, it's...
There's nothing worse. If I'm a bad songwriter and I never did well, but there's nothing worse than somebody saying syllables awkwardly to make them fit.
Yeah.
And,
I hate that.
It just makes you cringe. But when they said, and we're going to do it for Steinbrenner, and you said, what are we going to give him, a satin pillow?
Yes,
I spit my coffee out.
Satin pillow.
Yeah, I don't know. Anthony and his brother used to do song parodies. They were good. They really were.
There
Me
was a
and
time
Fred
for
did
them.
Yeah, but do you know that goddamn song, God Bless America, this is true, sat in Irving Berlin's drawer for a couple of years because he couldn't stand... The whole song is so great except for one line, and it's like the dumb line theory. I don't know if you're a songwriter, sometimes there's a line in the song you just can't live with. And the ocean's white with foam. It's the worst fucking line in the world. Here's this whole American song, and all of a sudden the ocean's white with foam. He says, is that the fucking best I can do? And he put it in the drawer for like 2 years and then pulled it out 2 years later and became this huge thing.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know the
most
history
of the
that
ocean isn't white with foam. It's blue, and then... the foam is kind of there as the wave breaks.
He needed to rhyme home, and he's got A, B, C, moon, June, spoon.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, he had to rhyme home.
Home.
And that's the best he could come up with.
Jeez, and the Keith Richards bit, a third grader could have done better, but I have a classic story. I met Les Paul and Keith Richards the same night. Mm-hmm. Do we got 2 seconds to tell you a story?
Dude, this is your time. Let's roll.
There's a booker named Adam Sands that for 10 years was trying to get me and Fred Norris. You got to come see Les Paul. You got to leave us alone. Leave us alone. Finally, one night, Carrie Ash grabs me and she says, "You're going to Les Paul's birthday party. It's his 85th birthday party. You're coming. I don't care if I have to drag you. He's a fan. He knows you. Blah, blah, blah." I'm like, bullshit, But it turns out old people don't sleep. They're up all night, and so he would listen to the story. He'd listen to everything, and he was sharp as a tack. He died at 94, as sharp as any of us. It's hard to believe. So we go to see him. Oh, and she says, "You got to come. The Rolling Stones might be there." The Rolling Stones, right? So this is when I was at Marlowe's at like 63rd and Broadway. So I go to the show, and we're sitting there, and Les Paul comes walking down the aisle to go on stage, and I hear him saying to Adam, the booker, he goes, "Jackie the Joke Man's here?" And I couldn't believe that came out of Les Paul's mouth, right? Yeah. And Keith Richards is sitting there with the scarf, and he's got his hair all done up, with the curls and the whole rock star thing. And he's with his mother and his stepfather, Keith Richards is, and his mother was a blues singer. I didn't know. How could we not know that? Did you know that? I never knew. Keith Richards' mother was a blues singer and knew Les Paul. So here it's my first time ever seeing him, and I'm still drinking at the time. So I'm getting bombed, and Les Paul fools around for a second. He says, and Jackie the Joke Man is here. Jackie the Joke Man. Let's bring Jackie the Joke Man on stage. And I couldn't believe it because this is his birthday party. And I mean, the place is jammed with, aficionados of jazz but crazy people. I mean, it's just a real eclectic crowd. What am I going to do? So I go up on stage. And he says, "So you tell dirty jokes, huh? You tell dirty jokes." I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Well, go ahead. Tell me some of your dirtiest jokes." And I'm a little loaded, so I hit him between the eyes with like 5 jokes, and he almost died right there laughing. And we were best friends for like 9 years after that. So the crowd couldn't really believe that this guy is up at Les Paul's birthday party telling disgusting jokes. And so I was just in heaven. So I sit down. And Les Paul says, "All right, now we got another great guy here. We have Keith Richards here." And so he brings Keith Richards up on stage, and Keith Richards comes on stage and says, "I don't know if I could follow that bloke." And I'm like, wow, so I'm sitting out there with a heart on, and he's fooling around. So Keith takes the guitar and plays, 3 songs or something, and the crowd's going nuts. They're having a great time. And Les Paul's trying to get Keith's mother to come up and sing, and she won't come up and sing. So he's making a big deal about this is Keith's mother, and she's a blues singer, and come on and sing. I can't think of her name because it's so random. I would have looked her up. So she wouldn't come up and sing.
Mrs. Richards.
So then So he talks a little bit more after Keith gets off, and you could see it was bugging him a little, the whole dirty joke thing. And all of a sudden he goes, this, and I went to see him 50 times, 70 times. He never had anybody on stage twice, ever. He's like, bring Jackie the joke. Jackie the joke. I mean, come back up here, because it was bugging him. Just meet me. It was fun for him. It was fun for me. So I'm a little drunker now. And Keith Richards has been up there. So meanwhile, if his mother is a blues singer, she'd been around the block, and her son's a Rolling Stone, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
So I come on stage, and I say, "Oh, Les, it's so nice you have me back up." Listen, before we go any further, let me just say, Keith, I'm really sorry. If I knew your mom was here, I certainly wouldn't have, done those filthy jokes, And he stands up and he says, "Yeah, well, I'll tell you something about your mom." And I'm like, and I turned to the crowd and I said, "I'm getting heckled by a fucking Rolling Stone. How cool is that?" So the crowd goes nuts. So we're sitting there and Les Paul goes, "Jackie, you sit there and you write notes for the guy. Tell me how it works." I said, "Les, listen, it's, my balls are this big. I'm drunk." I said, "It's your 85th birthday. They're here to see you. These are jazz fans and lifelong fans. Some of them might know the Howard Stern show. Some might not. They might know who cares. I'll tell you what you do. Why don't you do your show, and we'll hang out. When the show's over, we'll go to the bar and we'll talk about the Stern show. We'll have a few beers, and maybe Keith will join us. And who knows? Maybe he'll buy us a drink. And if he doesn't have any money, maybe he could use some of those beads that are in his fucking hair." And the crowd went, because he was all done up with the beads in his hair. And the crowd, it was one of the biggest laughs I ever got. The place exploded. And I turned to the crowd and I said, "Now I'm fucking with a Rolling Stone. How cool is that?" And they went and afterwards, me and Keith and
just hung out
and drank beer. Wow. And
did you get a photo with him?
Yeah, I got a picture of me.
Did you get a photo?
Yeah, that's all Jimmy cares about.
But it's not just me and Les Paul and Keith, but it's with his mother and his stepfather. The five of us in there getting drunk in the green room.
That's pretty cool, man.
So
hung out with Keith Richards.
But the thing I wanted to say is that he really does mumble, and he really does sound like he's done all those drugs and done all that drinking. Right. But in his mumbling, he's incredibly eloquent. He's brilliant.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't.
It's kind of like Ozzy. He
doesn't mumble and
because people get distracted by how Ozzy talks, but if you really listen to him, he's hilarious and he's very smart.
It's right. So when people are doing goofs on him,
Well, that's a horrible goof, is what you're getting at. Scott and Todd are the worst as far as radio goes.
I didn't mean to make such a long-winded story, but Keith Richards doesn't come up every 2 seconds.
We don't have a fucking Rolling Stone story, Jackie. So
I have one.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, do you?
What happened?
I saw them walk by when they were going to perform. Remember we went and watched them?
Oh, right. I met Mick
Steinbrenner's pillow. You're a dark motherfucker,
that's enough with George already. Fucking enough with him.
I met Mick backstage, Syracuse Carrier Dome, Steel Wheels tour with Brother Weeze, because Brother Weeze knew the promoter. He could care less. It was literally a half second. I was introduced to him, though, as a nobody.
You know what's weird?
But you freak out. You're like, holy shit, that's a Rolling Stone.
But I've walked past him a couple times. It always freaks me out, because I always think he's going to be little, like Davey of the Monkees. And he's tall. He's like 6 foot tall or 5'11" or something like that. You always think Mick Jagger's this little monkey,
Right. He's tiny, though, as far as, he's very thin.
Yeah, he's teeny.
Very frail.
He's got like a girl's body.
Yeah. It's frail looking.
Yeah.
You can see him,
in the gay
now.
community, he has a swimmer's build.
Is that what it is?
Twink.
Wink.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sitting out listening to your show, so I'm way backlogged. But that stupid statue, I love the first time.
The penis statue? Yeah. You want to see a picture of it?
That's not a penis, that's a clit.
Yeah. You've seen it, right?
Yeah. I was like appalled. You know what appalls me is not the statue, is that I'm sure they paid $1 gazillion for that ugly piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there it is.
That's art, man.
Actually, Jimmy nailed it. It's Bob Kelly naked.
It really is, Bob.
It's Bob Kelly naked.
At least Scott and Todd, though, got some radio gold out of it.
Yeah,
I do
they
wonder
got edgy with it.
How there isn't some kind of outrage, because there's always this morality bullshit these days.
Yeah, why? And is it really worn off?
No.
Why would they have made it white?
I think the artist made it that way.
I guess if it was black, it'd be big.
No, yeah.
Because it's gold.
I don't know. I think that it did actually get worn off. I don't. Yeah,
it is worn off. Yeah.
No,
I've seen it. It's like it takes
gold on purpose.
What they call it, like a patina.
Yeah.
Kind of the metal takes on like a tarnish.
Oh, listen to Mr. Art.
And it's taken
Dan
off.
knows a little bit about it.
I just know about copper because my gutters are copper. They were gold, but
what else is up, Jackie?
Yeah, where are you going, Big?
I nailed it already. It's Uncle
you did?
Vinny's Comedy Club, Staten Island, New York. One
Uncle
show
Vinny's.
Saturday, the 30th at 8 p.m.
I have non-news.
That means you can't go to your Halloween party. You should be going to Anthony's Halloween party.
He
I got
never
my
called
party.
me. He never invited me over. He's full of shit.
Oh, open invite.
Yeah. You know what that means? Don't
invite.
ever come.
Yeah.
I understand.
the
I
open
have some
invite.
non-news.
Non-news.
Non-news. I'm still in the running, which I don't even know what it means, but I'm still in the running for the 2010 Best Comedy CD Grammy.
I read that.
Really?
But I don't know what it means. It's down to like 40 people. But I don't know if there's 40 entries or if there's 4,000 entries. So I don't know if I beat anybody yet. I just know there's a possibility I could be nominated. I don't know whether there's a possibility is 1 in a billion or
When do you find out?
next Wednesday.
Any way we could help?
Blow somebody, I guess. Not just NARAS members, National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. I sent out an email, hey, vote for me. And my friend Kevin Kelly said, listen, that's not what you do.
No.
You say, go to the Grammy site and listen to some of my CD, and please give me your full consideration. You don't just say, vote for me, blindly vote for me.
Give me your full consideration.
Yes, consider my art, as I tell dick and pussy jokes.
I like your storytelling, Jackie. You got any other stories from the old days?
I got you.
I don't care if it's the Howard Stern show. Before that, I know you were a gymnast back in 1964,
Did you see that?
65. How did that make the internet?
Gymnast?
You haven't seen this yet?
No.
We could go there. It's
My
on
friend-
YouTube.
my
It's
friend-
Jackie the Joke Man, I think 1960
It
something.
says Jackie Martling, 1965. Maybe it says gymnastics. My friend Walter Campagna,
That fucking internet.
his father was one of those guys that always had an 8mm movie camera.
right, yeah,
Remember
yeah.
my little
sure.
Bell and Howell or whatever they were?
Yeah, my
little
dad had
brownie.
those too, yeah.
And I had one too, and his father shot everything, and his father was amazing. He shot so much of it, and one day Walter called me up and said, "Listen, it's exactly the same thing." And he said, "I got some of gymnastic footage on videotape. I transferred it from the 8mm, and he brought it over. And my cousin Lenny was up from Florida, and 40 years ago, Walter was a baseball player, in the same little league. He was a couple of years younger, but he was pals, a small town." And he says, listen, you want to see some of the Little League game that I pitched? Because, of course, I know everybody, and this is 40 years ago. It's the whole gang. And my cousin is there, and Walter starts showing this videotape of him pitching a Little League game. The opposing pitcher is my fucking cousin. So my cousin's sitting there watching a half hour of a Little League game that he played 40 years. I mean, it's just amazing.
It's fucked up.
But Walter was a great gymnast. And he was really, really good. And his father videotaped, but he also videotaped some of us. And his father videotaped my floor exercise routine against Plain Edge. And here it is 40 years later, and Walter brings it over to my house, and we finally got it digitized. And the most flattering thing is a lot of people say, oh, no, that's not you. But it's unmistakably
really?
me.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
No.
Why, did you
Sure,
tell
I
a
wanna
dick
hear-
joke in the middle?
Oh, yeah, that's not.
Here it is. Jackie doing gymnastics in 1965.
Holy
Look at you
shit.
walk out like an Olympic athlete.
What a shape you're in. Wow, what guns.
What do you think, Norton?
You had good arms.
You knew how to do this shit, Jackie?
Look at him tumbling, and he's doing handstands.
Handstand turns.
Oh, my
I
God.
was third in
routine.
Nassau
Wow.
County.
Look at
Should have
this.
landed right in Robert Reed's lap.
Look at that. Come
Wow.
on.
Come
Come on.
on.
You had
That
skills,
split.
bro.
That's amazing.
And then to a headstand.
A handstand, very slow up to the handstand. That's very difficult. Wow, you are flipping around like a rag doll there.
Yeah, that's so obviously you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Come on.
That's a hardwood floor, too. This is so long ago.
Then no mats.
They didn't want
No
mats.
We did- it wasn't Oyster was cheap.
Open.
Yeah, we did
You're
it.
doing it on a basketball court. Well, that's
right.
amazing.
That's got to hurt the knees, huh?
Wow.
Great fun.
That is.
And that was it.
So to get even with my friend
Is that
Walter,
you on the rings, too?
Yeah. My friend Walter, we had sports night, and the entire stands, or whatever you call it, the entire gymnasium was packed, and Walter was about to go on the parallel bars.